In this video, I want to go over some of the tools that Lightroom offers you to help you get your documentary project organized, sequenced, edited, and all of that. Organization is really one of Lightroom's superpowers, one that people often overlook. They're over in the develop module, and they forget that really the library module is an incredibly powerful place. So I'm looking at right now, to get started, I'm looking at a folder of a set of images that I took on a single day in March. I took these at Lagoon Valley Park, and most of them are birds. A handful of them are the flowers that you saw at the beginning. There might be a couple more flowers towards the end. And so I want to use these as the starting point for the proposed documentary project that I'm going to do, which will be, big surprise, on birds. So I want to get started organizing these images or sorting these images out so that I can make a collection and get started on really doing the final editing work. So I'm going to use keywords as a way to strategize this. And I've already started by putting in some keywords. I'll just pull up a couple of these. So these first few images are flowers, and you can see that I have these keywords over here: flowers, Lagoon Valley Park, mustard, nature, Solano County. If I click down here, we have some of the same keywords, but we also have red-winged blackbird because it's naming the bird. So the same and different, kind of like typologies. Now, if you're not familiar with keywords, let's go over these again. Some of you hopefully at least remember a little bit of a demonstration on keywords. Keywords are phrases or words that you add into an image. It goes into the metadata of the image. It lives with it even as it travels around, and it identifies certain characteristics of the image. You decide what those keywords are going to be. You can put as many keywords in as you want or none. Keywording is something that I tend to do when I'm late at night, when I feel like I want to be productive, but I'm kind of brain dead and I'm watching TV. I just go through and start adding keywords. I start with the big. So for instance, I might select all of these, and you notice that all of these were taken in Solano County, and all of them were at Lagoon Valley Park. The asterisk indicates that there's some that don't match those two bigger keywords. Then I gradually move down. All of these have the keyword flowers, and all of these have the keyword birds, the rest of them. So I could begin to narrow it down. Now let me show you the first really useful tool of keywords. These aren't completely keyworded, so I'm going to sort it, and then I'm going to actually continue to keyword these so you can see how useful this can be. So keywords allow you to sort. You actually do this up at the top, and if you don't find this panel, you can just click the find, and it's going to pull it up. You can sort by various things. In this case, we're going to do text. You're going to select here keyword, and over here, oh, it already did it for me, but I'll write it in. I'm sorting it by birds, and actually I'll do it both ways. If I sort it by birds, you can see that those flowers disappear. We're just looking in this folder. If I alternately did it by flowers, we would only see the flowers. Clearly, I'm going to go back to the birds because what I want to do is create a collection that is only the birds. I'm going to put all of these in there because all of them are potential for this final documentary project. And I'm going to put them into a collection I've already made called Bird Documentary. And remember, the cool thing about collections is that collections are virtual. They're just a reference to the original. And I'm going to go here and resort these by capture time. There we go. They're just a reference to the original. And so I can move these around, I can delete, I can do all sorts of things without damaging the original file. However, things like development, keywording, those actually all do go into the original metadata, which is actually pretty handy as well. So let's talk a little bit more about keywording, and then I want to get into how I might sort these out and try to pare them down to, no more than 10 different photos. In this case, I think I have 8 to 10 different species here. I'm only going to choose one from each species, so I'm going to work on a way of selecting the best one and then sequencing the finals. Okay, but first let's go back to the keywording. These first, oh boy, I don't know why, but these first several rows of photos are all this same bird. If I go ahead and select these, you'll see that the keywords that are all applying here, the Lagoon Valley Park and birds and Solano County and nature and red-winged blackbird, because this bird is a red-winged blackbird. This next bird is not a red-winged blackbird, and if you click on this, you'll see this is a ring-billed gull, and these are all ring-billed gulls. The next one is actually a red-winged blackbird. And notice any keyword that I've already used is going to pop up for me. And the next four are back again to ring-billed gull. So these are the ones that I have not yet keyworded, and there's a purpose in my doing this. I want to go ahead and keyword all the different types of birds. These next 5 birds are Brewer's blackbirds. And the next, well, let's see, it looks like 10 of them are Western bluebirds. You can take my word for this. I could go in closer and prove it, but I think you believe me. The next 4 are Western meadowlarks. Oh, I gotta spell it right. There's a lot of birds that start with Western, so I have to get all the way to there, and there's the Western meadowlark. And the rest of these, all down to here, are, again, Brewer's blackbird. These are, believe it or not, this bird is called a greater yellowlegs. There it is. This is back to the Brewer's blackbird. So you can see I have all the other keywords are already in here. The only one I had left to do was the species, and you'll see how handy this is. This next little bird is a Lincoln's sparrow. There he is, Lincoln and conspirators. That's from a different set of images. And I hit that return. Then we're back. These next few are greater yellowlegs. And let's see. Wow. Okay, I think maybe not all the way. Oh, no, we have a couple more. These are Brewer's blackbirds again. I'm sure you recognize them by now. And you can see how fast this goes. This is just taking me a few minutes. It's worth the trouble. These are double-crested cormorants, as long as you know what the birds are, right? You can make up your own keywords. Keywords can refer to anything. They can be the color of a scene. They can be the format. Really, the keywording is up to you. Just double checking. This is a red-winged blackbird. And the last set are black phoebes. So now I have all of the birds keyworded, and that's going to be really handy because I only want to pick one of each of these species. So what I want to be able to do is go up here, make sure that this is actually highlighted. If you don't see this little menu up here, the text attribute, if you go to library and to find, it's going to pop up, and additionally it'll pop down with this little menu choice. And let's go ahead and take this out. So I want to sort these a little bit more by keyword. We already did this. I'm going to actually sort it by, oh dear, I actually want to sort this a little bit more firmly. I'm going to keep on sorting them by birds. Actually, no, I know how I'll do this. I'm just trying to debate. So I'm going to do red-winged blackbird to start. And so I'm going to put in that whole word. And you can see now all of the red-winged blackbirds are the only thing that I'm looking at. So I can actually work just on the red-winged blackbirds, just paring them down. I know that I'm not very interested in either of these, so I can take those out. I'm not really sure about this one. I like him. He might not be the final pick, though. I have to decide because I can only have one red-winged blackbird. Okay, let's go back to the original. And let's take a look at these. Now, one of the other things I might want to do, let's just take a look at this guy. I did some development on this guy that would pass what I was doing here. So I want to show you one other quick thing if you've never done it, which can be really handy. I want to make sure that these are apples to apples. So I want to actually choose that first one. I like the development there. I want to go down and choose all of them after that. And I want to come over here and do sync settings. And this means that it's actually going to develop all of these exactly the same way. I'm going to go ahead and check all of them. You can also be selective depending on what you're doing. But in this case, I want all of them developed in that same way. And that means that I can, oh good, yeah, I can look at those with that setting that I really like and compare them more directly. Now this is the most of any single image that I have in this library. I can't choose more than one of them, even if a lot of them are good. And so I really need a fairly efficient way to go through these and to choose the one that is going to go into my final. So I'm going to deselect and just start with the first one. Oop, come on now. There we go. And I just want to go through, I'm going to zoom in because one of the key things I want to check here is the expression and the focus on the bird's face. And so anything that I think is not quite up to speed, if it's just a little blurry like it is now, I really can't see, the expression isn't great, I'm just going to delete it right off. Delete that one because his eye socket is hidden, it doesn't have any brightness to it. And sometimes it takes a second to load so that I can check my focus. There we go. Nope, that one's terrible. Let's wait and see this one, see if his eye looks good, but probably I'm not going to like him. Nope, don't like that one. I wish this would load a little faster, but that's the way it often goes. Nope, don't love that. I don't like that angle either. Or that one. Oh, I think I'm going to like this one. Let's wait a second and see. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Not only am I going to keep that, but I'm going to put a little P on it that I picked it. It's a really good choice. Don't like that. Don't like that. No, I can't decide about this. It's kind of interesting looking at him from below. Nope, don't like it. Nope. Nope. And you can see this is totally the way of documentary in general, but bird documentary specifically. I have to take an awful lot of photos to get a handful of photos that I actually like. Just because birds keep moving, this is the same as true of a lot of documentary work. If you're shooting, even if you're shooting things that aren't moving, you just need to take a few photos and make sure that you have the right pics. This is also a very good one. And you can see how quickly I can sort of zip through here and delete these. I'm not really freaked out about deleting the files, although frankly I probably wouldn't miss them, but when I delete them out of the collection, they still exist. I just don't want them in this collection right now while I make my decisions for my final project. I don't think I'm going to like this one, but I'm just going to give it a chance. Nope. And no. And no. I'm being kind of quick and brutal now just because I want to make this decision. I kind of like that. It's probably a no. No, that's going to be a no because I think this next one is better. And I have a suspicion that very first one that I chose is going to be the final pick, but that was awfully nice too. That's a no. And now we're down to the last one. And now that I'm looking at it, so I have 4 of those. This is really great. And just this one, I like this guy, but his eye is really hidden. He's just not the right pick. So I'm going to leave it at 4 for right now, just until I make some choices in the other way, in the other areas. I'll go ahead and take this out. The next one that I want to choose is the ring billed gull, and I only had to put in ring because there's no other bird in this series that has that distinction. And again, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Some of the other ones I'm going to go through even more quickly just so you can get a sense for this. And I'm clicking these out and going, yeah, that was a little overexposed. When I get to one that I think I might like, nope, a little blurry. This is very interesting, but I don't think I like it for my final. Now there's one that I like. I might not normally go quite this fast, but this is not that unusual. Nope, I don't really like him. I really like him. He's going to be another pick. And another pick. And not a pick for this one. I think it's interesting to have that motion, but not for this series. And let's take a look. So we have 3. Excellent. Okay, let's go back to the original. And let's just go ahead, for the sake of argument, let's go ahead and grab a couple of these other ones. This is, we're going to go to Brewer's Blackbird. All right, we just had to put in Brewer and scroll through, and I can tell right away. Sometimes I can move more quickly, sometimes not, but I definitely like these pictures of the bird in the tree. I'm not as keen on these. I want to check out that one in the grass, but I'm going to go ahead and be really, really quick and brutal because my deadline is coming up, and I'm going to take all of those out. I'm going to quickly take a look at this. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, so that was easy. Let's go take a look through these. And I think this first one, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Oh, I really like that. Yeah, that one's not as nice. That one's okay, but I like the expression on the first one. Ooh, I love the focus on the flowers. Those 2 are pretty nice. And there's one more. Nope, definitely not. So I've got that narrowed down. And okay, we're doing pretty good. I want to get this done in under 20 minutes. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to go ahead actually and just randomly pick some other ones since we're under the gun. I've only got 3 minutes left to finish this, and that was my promise, is that I would actually get this done, this whole edit done in less than 20 minutes. And I think, oh, let's go back. This is the Western Bluebird, and there was one that I liked. There he is. I'm going to pick him, and let's make sure that those are the only Western Bluebirds. Yep, that's it. Oh, we have Western Bluebird. I want to make sure we're, there we go. So we have the pick. I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of these out. The next one is Western Meadowlark. And I think there's only really one good pick with the Western Meadowlark. Oops. Sorry, I was back in there. I'm going to go in here. That's the one. The others are a little bit blurry, so I'll take those out and that one out. Let's go back to the original. So the next one is going to be the greater yellow legs, and I had a bunch of these in different places. Now I can tell just looking at them here that I'm not going to like these ones here in the shadow. I think I really like these 2 with the reflection the most. Let's go ahead and be brutal, and I'll just break it down to there. So I have 2 of those. I can tell that I'm not going to be keen on these. They're a little too distant. This is the Lincoln's Sparrow, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick this first one, just for the sake of expediency. I'll do the same thing with the Cormorant. We'll make sure that we find a good one. There we go. That one's nice. And again, normally I would go through and spend a little bit more time on this, but I want to make sure that I finish this up. I've got about 45 seconds. This one is beautiful, Phoebe. Okay, we're going to pick that first one and take the rest out. And then all we have to do is pare them down here. So I'll just pretend like I've chosen. We're going to pick that one. We're going to pick that one. We're going to pick the third one, or actually the second one here, because I like the framing better. And we'll go ahead and pick the first one here. And voila, check it out. We actually have, I'll select this, in 20 minutes, 19 seconds. I almost blew it, but we have 9 final photos. Now, the next step would be to actually work on the sequencing of them, the editing of them. I'm going to move them around so that we actually move from waterbird to meadowbird to skybird. And then we'll be ready for our final presentation. Okay, quick edit down to 9 photos in almost less than 20 minutes. That's how it's done.